There were a couple other foreigners, and Clan in Control was in it. I don't know how he got in, like what his qualifier was to get in. Testy was in it. Testy was really good. White Raw wanted to get in, but the clan leader didn't let him get in because at the time White Raw was like 25 or 28 or something like that. And basically they said he's too old. Other than those three, I don't think anybody else, any other foreigner was in it. Yep, too old. He said that pro teams, if you're over 25, didn't even consider you. Because around that age, people either stop playing or they give up or they want to do other things, and they don't want that to happen. They'd rather you be 15 and play all day and have potential instead of be 25, spend 3 years getting good, and then by the time you're actually pro level, you just quit. They would recruit really young people too. Like TY, StarCraft 2 player, he was in Bai. His name was Bai Baby. He was like 11 years old. Trap was in Bai. I was friends with Trap. We played quite a bit. He was also like 11 or 12. One thing I do remember is that the Zergs were just like really good, and they were just crushing Nada over and over and over. So they would give me replays, right? And they'd be like, yeah, Nada's no good. I'm like, what? Nada's like the best player of all time, and you're saying he's no good? But yeah, they would just crush Nada over and over and over. Yeah, when I joined Bai, Defiler play just started happening. So that was like 2006. So yeah, Zergs were like doing really well. One of my WCG memories, let's see. I mean, there's a lot, really. I remember showing up to the first one and meeting people that I'd only talked to online before, which was really cool because back then, you know, I was only, what, like 15? And then I remember choking really badly on my first one. Like, you know how people spam their mouse over top of their workers right now, or nowadays? Back then, people didn't really do that, but I had started doing it, and I accidentally selected all of them and move commanded them. So that was nice. And then, back then in 2003, I was helping a player named Hose. He was a Terran player, and he made it to, what was it? Like the semifinals versus a Sem. And he had a Sem dead. Like, I don't remember what the map was called, but there was 4 positions, not at top right, I mean, it was top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left, but they weren't exactly in the corners. They were like kind of closer inwards. But anyways, he was top right and he had top left also, and he just started spamming race, and a Sem only had bottom left, and a Sem was just spamming turrets and battle cruisers, and eventually a Sem got bottom right and he ended up winning. So if a Sem hadn't won that game, Hose would have been the one to go to Korea, and a Sem may have never been a pro. So that was a life-changing game for both of them. For Hose, you know, he probably doesn't care now because he's a poker pro and he's made millions of dollars. At least from what I understand. I don't talk to him anymore. Another story, in 2004. In 2004, I met someone named Slog. I did really poorly that year. I lost like very early. But one of the highlights of that year was met Slog. We all went together to get food. It was a pizza place, right? And the first thing like Slog says is like, "Oh, the cashier, she's like really hot, right?" So he's like freaking out and pacing around. And I'm like, "What's going on?" Like it was like really weird. Then out of nowhere, you just hear him say like, "Oh shit, I got a shit." And then he takes some napkins from the middle of a table and just brings them with him to the bathroom. I was like, what? Is he gonna use napkins as toilet paper? It was so weird. So then he comes out, right? And he's still like, oh my god, she's so hot, blah blah. So people there are like, why don't you just talk to her, right? So he's still pacing around, and the door leading to like the ovens and stuff had one of those that was one of those that had like an opening near where your eyes are, so you can see through. So he's like peeking in and then walking away and peeking in. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So finally he decides he's gonna talk to her, right? So he goes to the cashier. Keep in mind, we're at a pizza place. Okay, so he goes up to the cashier to order something, right? You think he's just gonna talk or he's gonna order something? So he stands there and he says something like, you sell cigarettes?" It's like, what? What is going on? Why are you asking if they sell cigarettes at a pizza place? I don't remember if he talked to her a little bit, but what I do remember is as we were leaving, he's like all happy and stuff. I don't remember why he's happy, but he is. And then someone comes out behind him, right? We don't know who it is, but he turns around, he thinks it's her, and he says, "You got screen name?" It ends up being the manager, who's just a big black guy, and we're just like, what the hell, man? It was hilarious. You kind of had to be there, but it was also just so weird. This is the first time I ever met Slogs. Oh, I was like, what is wrong with this kid? And then also at the same event, I wasn't here for this, but someone told me, they went with Slog to a restaurant. And you know how when you get a menu it says, like let's say you order a hamburger, right? It says like comes with tomatoes, comes with onions and stuff like this. So he orders, right? And he says, "Can I get a hamburger with meat?" Because it didn't say it came with meat, it just said came with tomatoes, onions and stuff like that. "Can I get a hamburger with meat?"
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Right away, sir. Report for duty.
Not enough minerals.
SCV good to go, sir. Roger that. Right away, sir.
Yeah, this is Slog 4.
Orders, Captain. Commander, I read you. Checked up and good to go.
But Slog's a cool guy. We, for the next year, or was it the next year? I don't remember, but the US Open was in New York one year. He lives in New York, and we stay at his house. If you look at my photo, my profile photo or whatever it is on Twitch, whatever you want to call it, that's the event. Me, Artosis, Skew, In Control were the players, and then Asem was also there. I don't know, he was back for some reason. Back from Korea, I think. And then,
Not enough minerals.
what else? One thing I do remember about that event was, first off, Asem had like I am living legend t-shirt on. It was, to me, it was just hilarious that you would, oh god, that you would wear a shirt like that, living legend. So that was funny. Then coming back from the event, we got on on the subway, and we're coming back, right, and there's like this homeless guy or drug addict or something, and we're all kind of spread out, but Asem is kind of like more towards the end. So the guy walks up to Asem, and he just goes up to him and says, "Murder's a motherfucking crime." We're like, whoa, dude. So we all just back away, but Asem doesn't even move. He doesn't back away, he just stands there. We like thought Asem was gonna get stabbed or something, but nothing ended up happening. But I was like, get me out of New York.
SCV good to go, sir. Right away, sir. Roger that.
Your forces
I'm like not
advance.
paying attention to this game at all.
Right away,
Orders, sir.
Jacked up and good to go.
Orders, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
SCV good to go, sir.
Proceeding.
Commander.
Delighted to, sir.
I read you.
So that was 2003 and 2000. We already told you about Slog's
SCV good to go, sir.
shenanigans in 2004.
I read
And
you.
then
Affirmative.
Research complete.
Yes, sir.
Orders, Captain.
Not enough
Right away,
minerals.
sir. SCV good to go, sir. SCV good to go, sir. Orders,
that was 2005 US Open. And then that year I went to the finals, well, US finals, and I got third. And I lost to Yosh, the famous Canadian player. And something unfortunate that year was they were only sending 2 people to the grand finals, which was Singapore, I think.
good to go, sir.
And so I got third, so I didn't get to go. It was Yosh in day 9, I think. Well, anyways, Yosh ended up not going. Well, being the great organization that WCG is,
Good to go, sir.
I guess I was supposed to check the website
Complete.
to find out if Yosh is going to go or not, instead of them telling me.
Additional
So they never told me, right? Someone from like Team Liquid ended up asking like, is Nyoken going to grand finals?
SCV good to go, sir.
And I was like, what? I got third. No, I'm not going to grand finals. And then I saw that Yosh isn't going. So I didn't even have a passport then, and it was too late to get one, so even though I could have gone to grand finals, I ended up not being able to go.
Bring it on.
So
Something on your mind?
Job finished, sir.
that kinda sucked. So that was 2005,
Yes, sir. I can't.
and then 2006, what happened in 2006?
All right. Bring it on. What do you want?
add-on complete. Research complete.
Something on your mind?
2006.
Oh, is that it?
I think they had another US Open?
Supply depots required.
Oh, is that it? Identify target. Absolutely.
Or maybe, no, that couldn't have been 2005. But that was some year, maybe like 2006 or something.
Oh, is that it? No problem.
But then there was another US Open some year,
Zone.
and went to California for that. And I ended up winning it. I beat Froz in the finals, who is like my rival. Like, even though I've never heard him say it, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to lose to me ever.
I read you.
Something on your mind?
And I definitely don't want to lose to him. We were in the same clan at one point,
Orders received.
and this is before Froz got famous. And we would play a lot, right? And I would win most of them. Probably like 90% of them. And then, for whatever reason, like he got famous somehow. I don't remember exactly what put him over the edge or what got him famous. Like, but people just thought he was good.
Identify target. Yes. Destination. What do you
So
want?
anyways,
SCV good to go, sir.
after he got popular, he would just start like off racing versus me, and I would just crush him, right? And he just started talking a whole bunch of trash. Like, I don't even know what happened. Like we were on good terms, and then out of nowhere he just turned into an idiot. So after that, I just really wanted to just kill him all the time. So I ended up beating him at some open, which was nice.
Destination. Moving.
And then 2006, like I said, I don't remember exactly what happened. 2007, I got second. Highlight from that for me was Froz was there, and I beat him, and he slammed his keyboard.
Identify target. Destination.
So I was happy about that. Like all his keys flew in the air and stuff like this. It was a sight to see for sure. And that year I had actually like stopped playing. Well, I said I was gonna stop playing, and then they had an online ladder, so I just played it just because. I ended up qualifying.
SCV good to go, sir.
So anyways, that was the year that I played the least and I ended up getting second. I think it was because I wasn't nervous at all. All the other years I was really nervous because I played a lot. I like wanted to do well, but that year since I didn't like actually care. Sure, I wasn't as good as I normally was, but
Upgrade.
nerves didn't get to me at all. So I got second, lost in control in the finals. So you can thank me for in control's victory.
Destination? What do you want?
Not enough minerals.
Identify target. Orders, sir.
Affirmative. Right away, sir.
Orders, sir.
Oh, and then that year, since I got second, I actually did get to go to grand finals that year. That was fun.
Your forces are under attack.
Met Mondragon and people like that. They're nice. Everybody got like super drunk. Me and Midian,
On your mind? I read you, sir.
like Midian got really drunk. I actually felt bad. He like was like really done after one night. I don't remember exactly because I was also proud of it. But apparently we were like just playing drunk poker and just smiling as we just bluffed every hand. But it was fun. Oh, wow, actually a real game this time.
I can't build there. Report for duty. I can't build there. Orders, Captain? Yes, sir.
I read you, sir. I read you, sir.
Your forces are under
I
attack.
read you, sir. Destination?
Report for duty.
Additional supply depots required.
What else?
Target. Orders, sir. Yes, sir. I read you, sir.
SCV good to go,
Additional
sir.
supply depots required.
So I went to grand finals that
Your
year,
forces are under attack.
the year that I didn't practice at all. And I actually had a really good bracket for me.
No problem.
I had
Identify target.
Android, who's probably like one of the best Russians ever. He like 6-racks me on Peaks of Big Dew. And I scouted it, so he lost. He wrote a smiley face instead of GG. People were telling me basically he does that to people he doesn't respect, but TV2 was my best matchup. I would have killed him. It wouldn't have even mattered. I literally never lost that matchup. But as I say that, I ended up losing to the Terran player from Malaysia, John Rambo. If I had have beaten him, I would have been the first American to make it out of groups at grand finals.
I dig. All ready to roll out.
But that didn't happen.
Bring it on. Yeah. Ready to roll out. Steady. Proceed.
I read you. Orders received.
Bring it on.
Orders received.
And so I met Mondragon, Testy was there, met Little Susie there. Back then I don't think Little Susie was anybody, I could be wrong. What else did I meet there? Met Goody, so if you watched BSL or whatever it is yesterday, Goody was there, he's nice.
What do you want?
What else? Who else? Midian. There were some Russians there. I think I met White Raw there. Did I meet White Raw there?
Going.
No, I don't think so. But there was another Russian there named X. He was another pretty good Terran player. But I remember meeting him distinctly because people like tried to talk to him and he's like, no, I don't speak English, and he just walked away. I was like, okay. He didn't even try. Looks like I'm dead.
Destination. These eyes on your mind. Moving. Sword on your mind. Identify target. Absolutely.
Like he didn't even try to talk to people.
These eyes did too, sir. Yeah, going. Moving.
Your forces are under attack.
Identify target. Yeah. Identify target.
Additional supply depots are under attack.
I can't feel that. Orders received.
Absolutely.
Job finished. I read you. I can't feel that. Right away, sir. Something's in the way.
Identify target. Moving.
Orders, Captain?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Reporting for duty.
Your forces are under attack.
Yes, sir. I read you. Right away, sir.
Yes, sir. Destination.
What else happened?
On your mind. Need sir. Orders
Orders for duty. I read you.
Base is under attack.
destination.
Orders, Captain? Orders, Captain? I can't feel that. Roger that. Finished. Job's finished. I read you. I can't feel that. Orders, Captain?
Destination. Identify target. Moving.
Yes, sir. I can't feel that. Orders, Captain?
Your forces are under attack. Supply depots required.
Reporting for duty. I can't feel that.
Orders, sir. Moving.
Your forces are under attack.
Destination.
Job's finished. Job's finished. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Add-on complete.
Reporting
Your
for duty.
forces are under attack.
Reporting for duty.
Bring it on. Yes, sir. Identify target.
Orders received.
Identify target. Orders, sir. Orders, sir. Absolutely. All right. Bring it on.
Hitting the wrong button.
Proceeding.
And then 2008, I qualified again, but I had a traumatic experience flying one time. So actually just didn't go after that, or I didn't go that year. Like I got on a plane and the guy was like really freaking out, like saying like we hit bad turbulence, and he was saying like what the heck's going on, like F-bombs everywhere, and then saying like we're all gonna die and stuff. It was really bad. So I just started freaking out, and after that I was just like, I need to get off this plane, or I need to just not fly anymore. So I didn't go 2008, 2009. I don't remember what happened there.
Your forces are under attack.
No problem. All right. Bring it on.
Your forces are under attack.
No problem. No problem.
Yes, sir.
Orders, sir.
Your forces are under attack.
Moving. Identify target.
Orders, Captain?
Bring it on. Orders, sir. Yes, sir.
Your forces are under attack.
Absolutely. Destination. I dig.
Yes, sir.
Your forces are under
What do you
attack.
want? Absolutely. Bring it on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Identify
Your
target.
forces are under attack.
Orders, sir.
Reporting for duty.
Identify target. Yeah, I'm going. Destination. Identify target. Yeah. I dig. Orders, sir. Moving. What do you want?
Yes, sir.
Orders, sir. Bring it on.
Your forces are under attack.
Yeah. No problem. Destination.
Upgrade complete.
Moving. Ready to roll out. No problem.
Your forces are under attack.
Something on your mind? Is that it? Orders, sir.
I think we're dead, boys.
Orders, sir. Ready to roll out, sir. These eyes on your mind, sir. Yeah. Moving. Yeah, I'm going.
Your forces are under attack.
I read you.
All right. Yes, sir. Ready to roll out. Is that it? These eyes in you, sir.
I can't feel that.
Is that it? Destination. What do you want?
Your forces are under attack.
Yes, sir. Ready to roll Orders, sir.
What are you doing?
Yes, sir. Delighted to, sir. All right, bring it on. Yes, sir. Delighted to, sir.
I think if I had sent all my units, maybe I wouldn't have died there. But either way, it's hard to play and talk at the same time.